what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the main event. And yes, right now we're going to be hitting over on NWA. Get that bad taste of AWA out of our mouth. And this is Starrcade 88 True Grit. I don't even know how to respond to that. True Grit. That was the tagline. We're going back to December 26, 1988. Norfolk Scope in Norfolk, am I saying that right? Norfolk, Virginia, and we're in front of 10,000 fans in the main event. If Nature Boy Ric Flair gets disqualified, he can still lose the title. World title match. Lex Luger versus Flair. Of course, Flair will have James J. Dillon in his corner. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna lie. Once again, a lot of these NWA main events, I already knew the results, read them in the almanac, never seen them. So a lot of these I'm watching for the very first time. Now, these guys already fought Great American Bash, and I wasn't huge on that match. I didn't completely piss on it, but I just felt like it wasn't all that great. So I was really kind of like, I really want to watch another one of these. Like, seriously, for them, you know, Luger Flair too. Now at this point, you know, the NWA has, or not just NWA, sorry, Jim Crockett Promotions has just sold out to Ted Turner. Now I believe this is still, they keep using the NWA name, and of course I think they do that for a little while, but now it's technically WCW. Like, this is now officially World Championship Wrestling. So it's the very first pay-per-view underneath Ted Turner. And you know, this main event actually does have a lot to live up to. And maybe they wouldn't think about the time, but just for me personally, as I'm looking at this thing, I'm thinking to myself, you know, there's kind of 4 different matches they got to kind of live up to. Separate matches. One of them is easy. You know, their main rival, or not their main rival, but I guess the main pay-per-view rival of December was Super Clash 3. It's not a hard one to be compared to. You can easily, you know, overtake that one. Of course, you know, this is their WrestleMania, so people are going to start looking at the other, you know, the other company's real wrestling. You know, if this is Starrcade, their biggest event, then WrestleMania, you know, 4. And I feel like, you know, that was kind of the weakest WrestleMania. So that's kind of another you can just kind of check off. And then you got to look at, you know, the Luger Flair match from Great American Bash. This is people are comparing to that, and even the Starrcade previously. So I mean, when you look at this match, I mean, you can look at it, you can compare it to so many different stuff going on at once, you know. So I don't know. Look, walking into this thing, I kind of have my expectations pretty low. Sorry, my expectations pretty low. Talking too fast and it comes out all weird. So I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, let's jump into this thing, shall we? Let's get into it. Build up. Not much build up other than the fact that, you know, as we saw before, that, you know, I went through the whole build up for Great American Bash, and of course it ended the way it ended, with Flair winning because Luger got a little cut up here. I just got watching Lawler and Kerry Von Erich, which was stopped for the same reason. But dude, Von Erich was like good, literally, it looked like a horror movie. That's how bad it was. It looked like a fucking horror movie. Luger had a scratch, and they're like, I'm the Maryland State Athletic Commissioner, and I'm saying cut it. Stop the match. Anyways, so yeah, this is the rematch for that. So I don't know what happened exactly between Great American Bash and Starrcade 88, but here we are. Except they did add the stipulation that if Flair is to get himself disqualified for any reason, just disqualification, that Luger can win the match. Or not just win the match, but win the title as well. So title can change hands on disqualification. So let's get to the actual match. For one, you know, after watching the AWA and how just horrible, I mean, that crowd there wasn't much of a crowd there at all. Here, you know, it's huge. I mean, you know, 10,000 people, which, you know, that's pretty good numbers. Not bad. So, you know, especially compared to what fucking AWA had, right? So yeah, they definitely got that going for them. And then yeah, this once again, it does have that big fight feel. This has a main event feel to it. You know, I don't know. Everybody talks shit about Luger so much that it just becomes normal. Like, literally the norm is the thing, like, Luger was just a horrible wrestler with no charisma. And I gotta disagree, especially after watching his last two main events. I'm just like, and if I'm wrong, I mean, I know, like, his WWF run was lackluster. I was a fan. Like, as a kid, because, I mean, I was, like, in the 3rd grade when the Lex Express whole thing was going down. And I remember thinking, like, yeah, I believe in this guy. I actually had his toy. WCW had the worst action figures. Because I don't know if you guys remember, when I was like, now I'm not saying WWF was much better, because the early WWF toys that I had, like in the early 90s, they were all plastic, so, and I played hard, so they always got broke. But they all had like some kind of action to them or whatever. Like, you know, spring-loaded arm and you pull it back and it punch or whatever. Horrible. But at least they had movement. They had some parts that would move. Dude, the WCW toys were just hard fucking like rubber. And they were just, and I'm using rubber, but it's not like rubber plastic. It was just like really fucking, and they were just in one pose. Like this. Or like this. And I think Lex Luger was like this. He had like the arms, I don't know if the camera's catching it or not. 2 beach balls, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was just, they had the work. I had them. I had the action figures. I had those two. I had both Steiner brothers, Ron Simmons, Psycho Sid, or I guess it was Sid Vicious, Luger, and Sting. That was I had 6 WCW toys. Never saw the fucking product, but I had the toys. But I was a fan of Luger, like, and so it's just, you know, today everybody's just like, Luger, that's just synonymous with garbage. I don't know, man. Watching these 2 matches kind of turned me around. So, like I said, it has a main event feel. And that's what you need. This is Starrcade. This is their WrestleMania, so it is good that they finally have, you know, they actually have to. I mean, once again, the last years, I didn't quite feel. I wasn't feeling 87 at all. Ron Garvin, Flair in a cage. Like I said, no disrespect to Ron Garvin, but to me, he just doesn't feel like a main eventer. Here, this actually feels like this is a marquee match. Like, this is when you put up on the billboards, you put it up there on the, you know, the marquee, and it's just like, yep, this is it. This is the big main event. The stipulation I thought was really neat too. So, man, because, you know, once again, Flair, known for cheating, you know, gets himself disqualified, whatever, a lot. So this is kind of like, all right, there you go. You got to go out there and earn it tonight. You got to earn it. So yeah, no, like I said, overall, it had a big fight feel going into it. The match itself really surprised me. My big complaint on their last match was the fact that after 5, 10, 15 minutes of the match, I'll say 15, I'll be generous, say 15 minutes, it just got stale. Like, it was just like they just started retreading the spots again. And almost like they didn't know what to do. Like, they had to fill up time and just kind of ran out of shit to do. Not this time around. In fact, and this is something that I caught early on, and then of course the commentary picked up on it immediately, was the fact that Luger wasn't just hitting the power moves, his 5 moves of doom. He was wrestling. And you know what? He was. And I really liked that. That was kind of a different side of Luger I hadn't seen before. He was working, you know, the arms, the legs, the back. I mean, he was a technical wrestler in this match. And I liked that because, I mean, that told a good story. Like, Luger went in last time, power game. And, of course, it didn't quite turn out good for him. I mean, regardless of how he lost, it was a bullshit, you know, loss, but it was still a loss nonetheless, and he decided to adapt, and I liked it. Like, I really was like, yeah, this is really good storytelling right here. Flair seemed cockier in this match, and I like that too, because Flair, he's always cocky, but last match, not so much. The match went back and forth. I mean, it was mostly Luger in this match, but he just seemed like retardedly fucking unstoppable last time. Like, last time, it was almost like Flair versus Terminator. Like, he couldn't keep Luger down. I mean, I guess that kind of tells a good story, but sorry. If someone's that unstoppable and they still can't capture a title, I'm sorry, you gotta change it up a little bit. And here, you know, I mean, he wasn't quite as, you know, just invincible as he was last time. So, I definitely like that. Of course, Flair hit all his spots, you know, flipping over the ring ropes, getting tossed off the top rope, walking and falling down, you know, the shtick. Luger threw on the figure 4 on Flair, which I really liked. I thought that was really cool. The end came when, you know, Dillon is distracting the ref, and Flair takes him outside, or he got his legs outside. He, you know, his legs are bent over the ring apron, and he takes a steel chair and fucking shatters it right on fucking Luger's knee. And holy shit, and you're just like, oh, that's the end of that. And sure enough, Luger, he sells it awesomely because like he continues doing the power game at this point. Like that's one thing I thought was kind of weird was like now he's kicking at the power stuff. Like when his knee goes bad, he's like I'm gonna start doing power shit, and of course it would buckle on him like every time. Every time he get going on something, boom, knee would give out. And what was great was he finally throws on the torture rack for the first time in the match, and of course too much for him, and he actually falls. And I thought it was brilliant. I guess the ending was still kind of like, really? But, because I mean, at this point, I'm like, he already busted his knee up. If he was to tap to the figure four, there's no shame in that. And he put on a hell of a match, but they went with the Flair, I can't remember if he rolled him up or just backslide or whatever it was, but he got him pinned, and of course, Flair puts his feet on the ropes, and that's how we end the match. Which, once again, whatever. I didn't care for that ending as much, but it did, it fits Flair. It's, that's what it is. So yeah, Flair retains the title and goes on. So the fallout from this match. Luger still continued his feud with the Horseman. Of course, he went back to Barry Windham at this point, and I think he fought for the U.S. title at Chi-Town Rumble. That's the name of the title? The pay-per-view, Chi-Town Rumble? So yeah, that was his whole thing. I think he even beat him. I think he won the U.S. title. Nice little consolation prize. But that's not an insult. Like I do think Luger was a hell of a... If he wasn't a great world champion, he was definitely a good U.S. champion. And I feel like, it fit him. It really did. And he, and once again, dude, the crowd's behind him. Crowd's behind him. It's funny because you saw a couple signs. We thought it was funny. Like the signs were like anti-Luger. And I was like, oh shit, man. Flair got the bigger pop coming out again. It seems like every time Flair comes out, people are just like, yeah, Flair! But as soon as he's out there, they're like, fuck him, hope he loses. And yeah, the crowd behind Luger, give him the title. That's all I'm saying at this point. Like, I know he made the deal. I remember hearing, Flair pretty much promised Sting, nope, the belt's yours. And I'm like, yeah, but dude, Luger's hot right now. It would make, whatever. I mean, I know people hate Luger, so everybody's going to disagree with me right here, but I don't see why you didn't put on Luger here. But anyways, so Luger goes after U.S. title and wins it. Flair, on the other hand, he would start his big-time rivalry with Ricky Steamboat. And I really liked, because, with that feud, it was less about the wrestling and more about kind of comparing, their personal lives. Because, Flair, he's styling, profiling, very flamboyant, larger in life. And Steamboat's not. He's very quiet. He's a family man. And they did kind of highlight that a lot going into this feud. I thought that was kind of neat. And of course, they would also meet for the world title at Chi-Town Rumble. But we'll talk about that in another episode. So, overall, what did I think about this match? I really liked it. In fact, this was actually better than all the matches I just announced earlier. It was better than Superclass 3, WrestleMania 4, and Starrcade 88. Sorry, 87. And the Great American Bash. I think it blew all those out of the water. Once again, Luger put on a hell of a match and showed that he can wrestle when given the chance. He can actually get in there and put on a good fight. Flair was in great form. Like I said, it was a typical Flair match, but it was a really good Luger match, if that makes sense. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I was surprised. Maybe because I had such low expectations, but I had low expectations on the last one too, and it turned out that I was right. But this one I started really good. I liked it. I really did. So yeah, thumbs up from this guy. So yeah, I enjoyed it. So, all right, guys, that's all I got. Fucking Luger, man. Luger's the man. That's all I got. Let me know what you guys thought. What did you guys think about this match? Drop it in the comment section down below. And better yet, let's just compare the two. Which one do you think is better, Super Clash 3 or Starrcade 88? Let's get those December showdowns going. Let's see which one you would have preferred, or which one you bought. Maybe you was someone out there like, you know what? I'm buying the AWA Super Clash because it's a better product. Yeah, right. So yeah, that's it right there. And dude, I love the post-match promo because Flair's back there and he's just like, Luger, you're never getting a shot again, huh? How do you like that? You're not getting a shot. I was like, that's just fucking awesome because I'd be the same way. I'm like, yep, I beat you twice, bitch. Or I fought you twice and I kept the belt each time, so guess what? No more. You go to back the line. So, yeah, there it is. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in tomorrow night because we will be wrapping up 1988. We'll find out who the main eventer of 1988 was. So, that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.